Tzipora Devora Bat Rivka. The iTorah.com live audio file dedicated to Refuah Shelema David Menachem Ben Devorah Leah and Shidduch for Nehamadina Bat Hanabatia. Please enjoy the Seudah for the Siyum Masechet. Just a very brief thought, since we don't want to disappoint our audience, virtual audience, video audience, audiophile audience, but obviously as we finding ourselves in these very, very holy and auspicious hours right before Pesach. So we know we have the different concepts that are applicable in the next hour or so. And one of them is the conclusion of the time that a person is allowed to eat Hametz. We know, we announced it inside, that we have approximately an hour and change till the prohibition of Hametz begins. But a person doesn't need to eat Hametz for the next hour. Meaning to say, somebody now wants to dispose of the Hametz, halachically you're allowed to do so. A very important concept and questions that came up earlier today. Does a person, and I think that it's important to share it publicly, because, Rabotai, I know everybody's excited, Masai is coming, you're going to drink 4 cups of wine, Maror, Haroset, okay, beautiful. Children, grape juice only, okay? Beautiful. I know, he wants to drink the wine. Kids should drink grape juice, right? You already had wine today? Beautiful. Only 1 cup, I hope. Beautiful. Okay, anyways, so somebody asked the question about toothbrush, toothpaste, and mouthwash, etc. So the short answer is that many of these products do not contain animal derivatives and do not contain also Hametz derivatives. But as we learned yesterday, it is appropriate that a person should change a toothbrush in honor of Pesach. Someone asked me if they have to remove the braces in honor of Pesach. I said, that's going to cost you at least $2,000. Go to the orthodontist, remove the braces, kasherize them and put them back. Obviously, you don't have to do that. But what do you need to do? Short answer, brush your teeth well now, in the next hour or so. Do the flossing, etc. So this way we avoid to have any trace of Hametz sometimes get stuck to the teeth of the person. The concept of buying a new tube for toothpaste. The short answer is, not really, although many of us may replace the tube of toothpaste, but as long as the tube is clean, etc., halachically does not constitute a problem. These are some of the questions that happened in the past few minutes. Now, what happens if a person cannot go to burn the Hametz? As we mentioned before, there is a centralized location for Aventura to go burn the Hametz and take advantage of the beautiful weather we have now, although there is rain scheduled for later on in the day, but at least now it's comfortable, go ahead and do it. But in the event that a person cannot go to burn the Hametz, the short answer is, you're allowed to dispose of the Hametz by casting it upon the water. You go to the water, not to the swimming pool, but you go to the water, go to the ocean, go to the bay, respectfully feed the bird, feed the fish, and this is how you get rid of the Hametz as well. But as our Hachamim tell us very clearly, as much as emphasis we give about the physical Hametz, all the Hametz that exists in any way, shape, or form, at the end of the day, the most important Hametz that must be removed and destroyed and erased is the Hametz of our neshama. This is not a new topic. This is a topic that year after year becomes more and more magnified concerning the idea of Bedikat Hametz, which I like to share a beautiful thought that we discussed in the earlier minyan today. You know that the Gemara in Masechet Hagigah, which is the Gemara that discusses sacrifices of Yom Tov. That's the meaning of Hagigah. Hagigah comes from Hag. The Gemara writes that Moshe Rabbeinu made certain takanot. One of the takanot, besides learning the laws of Pesach already from Purim, but actually in every Yom Tov itself, Moshe Rabbeinu made a takana that we review the halachot of each holiday on its holiday. And the Gemara says, laws of Pesach during Pesach, laws of Shavuot during Shavuot, and laws of Sukkot during Sukkot. The Maharsha asks a very interesting question. You talk about Pesach, you talk about Shavuot, you talk about Sukkot. What about Rosh Hashanah and Kippur? If you're already talking about the holidays, talk about Rosh Hashanah and Kippur. The Maharsha says that the menu of the day for Rosh Hashanah and Kippur is not limited to Rosh Hashanah and Kippur. What does it mean? What is the menu of Rosh Hashanah and Kippur? Besides apple and honey and kal nidre and ne'ilah. What is the main mission of Kippur? Teshuvah. The Maharsha says Teshuvah has no time limits. Teshuvah is not limited. I do Teshuvah from 9 to 12. No. Teshuvah is 24/7. Hamavdi, like Walmart. You know, 24/7, online, in person, etc. Hamavdil, right? But that's what the Maharsha writes. It says the mitzvot of Pesach, the mitzvot of Shavuot, and the mitzvot of Sukkot are specific halachic concepts on that very same day. But as far as concerned, the celebration of Rosh Hashanah and Kippur is the idea of Teshuvah, which in reality is not much different of one of the topics that we do for Pesach. Allow me a minute, and I think I'll finish in the next minute or so. When it comes to the burning of the Hametz, yes, we say the Kal Hamira di Kabir Shuti, but if you look in the Mahzor, doesn't have it here, but if you look in the Mahzor, you're going to find a special Yehira son. You're going to find a special Yehira son that says, the same way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu helped us to remove the physical Hametz, help us to remove Seor Sheva'isa. Seor Sheva'isa means the yeast in the dough. Who is Seor? Who is the yeast referring to? The Gemara says, the Yetzer Hara. It says we need to remove literally the Yetzer Hara from our life, which this brings a final statement. We know that the Gemara in Masechet Megillah tells us about that the Jewish people during Purim time, they fasted in Pesach. Prior to the miracle of Purim, Mordechai and Esther established 3 days of Ta'anit in order to revoke or to remove the decree of Ahashverosh and Haman. What were these 3 days? The first day was today, Erev Pesach. The second day was actually first day of Pesach. And the third day was the second day of Pesach, which means that year, Bnei Israel fasted, no seder, no masa, no maror, no wine. And actually, before this decision was made, there was a mahloket between Mordechai and Esther. Do we do ta'anit in the holiday or not? Mordechai says no. Esther says yes. Mordechai listened to Esther HaMalkah. And the Mefarshim ask, there is a pasuk in Megillat Esther that says, Umordechai yada et kol asher na'asa. Mordechai knew what was going on. And the Mefarshim ask, what did Mordechai know that what was going on? Who doesn't know? Everyone knows that there was a decree against Am Israel, and therefore they established the fast day. But the great Rabbi said as follows, in the night of Pesach, there is a paragraph that says, let me just find it so I can read it, verbatim from the Haggadah. Every paragraph is a page, right here. The Pasuk writes in the middle of the Haggadah, Banis'ak el Hashem Elokenu, and we cried out to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Vayishma Hashem et kolenu, and Hashem heard our voice, Vayar et onyenu, and saw our affliction, Be'et amalenu, and our burden, be'et lahasenu, and our oppression. And it says the Marsha, that this is, I believe it was the Marsha, this was the paragraph in Mordechai's mind when the Pasuk says, Mordechai yada. What did Mordechai knew? That the night of Pesach is a night that most likely everything that we ask for, the answer probably will be yes. Especially when it comes to prayers for the welfare of the Jewish people. So Mordechai says, I don't need to wait till Rosh Hashanah and Kippur to come on the schedule, to come on the calendar, to start praying to Borei Olam. It says, if when we cry out in Egypt, Borei Olam answer the prayers of the Jewish people, tonight I'm going to pray so Kadosh Baruch Hu will reverse the decree. And we all know the happy ending. What day was Haman hanged? The second day of Pesach. When the Megillah tells us that Esther made a mishteh and invited Haman, that second mishteh was the second day of Pesach. The 16th day of Nisan, basically the day after tomorrow. So therefore, Rabotai, with this, I will conclude by Be'ezat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give us, everyone, a Pesach Kasher Besameach. Hashem should fulfill all of our wishes and our desires, but specifically in the areas that we are finding challenges. If it's Parnasah, Refuah, etc. But before I finish, I must say something. I must say it because it's not fair for me to keep it to myself. Many of you were here yesterday. Those watching live or those listening to the audio file. Remember yesterday I said 2 stories. I'll tell you the happy ending of one of them. Oh, yes. Remember the boy that is about to be converted this Sunday because he's dating the daughter of a Christian minister? Baruch Hashem, not to my efforts, I'll be the first one to say, but your amen that many of you said yesterday created a mega miracle. A rabbi that I know personally, and I have the message, and I'm more than happy to play it for you, to listen to the message. And he says, Rabbi, you don't know what happened after I talked to you. He said, what happened? Did you hear my class? No, but I figured you're going to talk about it. I said, somebody approached the young man here in Miami because the young man is here. He sat with him yesterday like 4 hours. And after 4 hours, the boy says, you know what? I'm getting rid of the Goya. I'm going to say to her, that's the end of our relationship. Please find me a good Jewish girl. This was yesterday evening. I have the recording, the rabbi almost crying, telling me the miracle that we all were praying for. I mean, for those that are here today, yesterday we discussed this unfortunate situation. So we see Rabotai, just by opening up ourselves, talking about it, and the Kahal answering Amen, Borei Olam mesavev sivuim, as the Zohar Kadosh writes. Borei Olam creates the scenarios. And thank God, I didn't have to get involved. I was praying to Kadosh Baruch Hu, if I need to call this fellow, what I'm going to tell him? He's about to get married and convert this Sunday. Convert means from Judaism to Christianity. Haz v'shalom. But you know what? As Rabbeinu Ha'ari says, in these 30 days between Purim and Pesach, Borei Olam vacuums out neshamot which are connected to the dark forces of Tum'ah. So I wanted to share this happy information to the Kahal Kadosh, not only headaches, also good things is important. So Be'ezat Hashem, Hashem should give each and every one of us a Pesach Kasher Besameach. My presence is required in the other room, so we're going to say quickly Kaddish, and I got to run to the next Yom for the last minyan of the day. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen.